Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Lives with Me Challenge, our winner ceremony for 2024 for the Boston Red Line 86. We are excited to have you on here today. We have a great show lined up for you. We have a couple of guests here, and we're very excited to finally get this going. We got an extra day of Black History Month, so we're going to use it right. February 29th, we've been doing the Boston Red Line 89 series, 86 series, all February. And yes, so we've been doing it all year. All since February. So my name is Marlon Solomon. I will be your host today. I'm the founder and CEO of the Afro American Culture Initiative, a Boston-based nonprofit organization. Our mission is to serve multicultural communities here in underserved multicultural communities in Boston through education, technology, and travel. This event today actually signifies one of the, the birth of this organization. A little bit about me. My mother is from the Commonwealth of Virginia. My dad is Nigerian, and this organization was formed in 2015 to bring my two cultural sites together. And so this program actually was the first program. We're going to go into the history later, but before we do that, I want to tell you a little bit more about the Boston Red Line 86 Black History Month event series. So as you can see here, Black History Month, Boston Red Line 86 represents the fact that the Boston Red Line map, I'm a civil engineer by training, and when I studied the infrastructure of Boston, I realized that a lot of the inequities in the very infrastructure, the roads, the bridges, and how things are connected, all those things have to do with the redlining and urban renewal. And if we look for equity in our communities, we need to deal with this. So the Boston Red Line map was issued February 1st, 1938. And so every February 1st, which is also coincides with the Black History Month, we start our event series. This year we did 10 events and this is the last and final events, but we did 10 events in 4 historic locations. We started out in Nubian Square in Roxbury. We now went to Dorchester to look at some of the Jewish temples that were out there. And we went to the West End and talk about the African American community that was out there, as well as the communities, the Italian communities that were redlined and destroyed in the 50s and 60s. And finally, last Saturday, we recognized and started a conversation around the 50th year of the desegregation of Boston public schools, which is also connected to redlining. So we want to thank you, everybody, and all the sponsors, everybody that attended. We have so many events. I'm about to get the social media stuff out there, but it's been so busy. But yeah, we saved the best for last because this program that we're doing here today, the Lives with Me Challenge, is the beginning of this organization. It was our first real program. The program was developed around, like I said, bringing my African side and my African American side together in cultural exchange, and it just grew from there. We started out at the Urban League in Eastern Massachusetts, there in Roxbury. I like to always say that how we started out in Roxbury. This pictures are from May 3rd, 1938, 2018. These are some of the founding members of the program. And we gave a great event there. I had a lot less gray hair back then. But I want to send a shout out always to Dr. Davis, Michelle, Fabienne, and all the rest of the great people that helped us get this program off the ground pre-pandemic. So yeah, Justina was I call her Justina the First because Justina, this is the first. So this is one of the inaugural people that started out. She actually already bought her DNA test prior from African Ancestry. That is the group. That is the DNA test that the competition is based on. It's based on because Our culture diversity programming and our restorative project management programming teaches us that culture is primarily driven by land, and your culture starts in a location. You guys start using the resources around you, and you develop your culture and your practices and the things that you do. And when you do that, so that's why this DNA test is so important, because it actually identifies your tribe, and that means where you come from within Africa, right? It's not about country. A lot of the DNA tests out there, they usually focus on, your 10% Nigerian, your 30% Cameroonian, and guess what? Those countries were made up by colonial powers back about 100 years ago. So those countries don't really mean much. What really matters is the people on ground and the tribes and the cultures and the things that have developed since then. So this DNA test connects you to your tribe in Africa, and that starts the foundation of understanding your culture and who you are. And a lot of African Americans are out there, and they want to know. I mean, it's not for everybody, and I get it. One of the main things they want to know is that, well, I don't want my DNA information being used. So this actual program with African Ancestry, it's actually pretty expensive, about $300 a DNA test. But the reason why it's so expensive compared to 23andMe is because they destroy your information, all your DNA information, after you take the test. So it's very important for us to know this, because we've been, the history of the medicals here in America. African Americans have been experimented on for forced sterilizations, that yada. So there's a lot of apprehension around giving our data to random people, but because they don't sell their data on the back end, this is why it's so expensive. While 23andMe, they're going to use your data for research, this and that and the other. So that's why it's important to, that's why we use this program. So Justina had already bought our program. I mean, her DNA test kits, and she just agreed to work with us to promote, and she's always been a staunch supporter. Justina the first, one of the, and she tested positive. That's our little joke. She tested positive for Bamileke of Cameroon. And then, so then one of the things about this program, and is very important, is that we want to definitely make sure we connect on a more spiritual level, because it's not about reading books and going on online and, oh, the Bamileke tribe, they do this, the Bamileke tribe, they do that. No, it's about understanding, we're oral people in Africa, not much writing. And because of that, people, like, it's important to get that personal experience. So we try to find people from your tribe that are actually African, that live, that are, that are from the motherland. And they will now talk to you, be your friend. And we're forming this little family. Today we get to add another member to our family. Very excited about that. But Michelle Mateno was our first culture guide, and she was from the Bamileke tribe. As you can see, Justina was also from the Bamileke tribe. So it was very great. It was very exciting to me. Now, this picture right here is a very special picture. So I had actually met Michelle, and I lost contact with her. I'm like that. I'll be ADHD and all over the place. I forget where, I don't have the car. I can't remember where I saw. And so we were with Michelle, who is our first winner. We're going to see her slide next. But we were giving away, we were promoting the program at the African Festival of Boston. And so we're there talking about it. And guess who comes up from the Bamileke tribe? What do we say there? Right randomly in the stage, in the audience is Michelle. That's Michelle here, Justina here, and her family, who had just flown in from Cameroon. So her mom was there. So one of the beautiful things I like to hear is when Justina says, she went over, they had dinner, she had an actual traditional Bamileke dish, and she was welcome to the family. So it's such a special thing. And so that's part of this programming. And before we go a little further, I want everybody to know that we're trying to build this more. Definitely want to actually take trips. We definitely want to connect with people more and start more programs. Some people want to relocate to Africa. We would love this program to grow into that. So if you are interested in supporting, interested in getting involved, send us an email, send us a shout out on Instagram, whatever. You can check out my tag there. So that is a little bit about Michelle. And then we actually started the real like competition. So Michelle wasn't part of the competition; she was just helping out get us started. And then Michelle Turner Young was our first winner. I met her chance meeting on an Uber ride, and she literally was so electric and so much energy, and she embodied what the competition is about. It's called Lives in You, right? We want to know what lives, who lives in you. And if you really want to know who lives in you, we need you to show that passion. We need you to show that like desire. There are some people that have traveled to Africa on their own without any information, just to go and try to connect, try to be part of the African scene, and not be to be part of the majority, right? Except for being a minority, be part of the majority. There's nobody looking at you. Nobody even knows that you're anybody different until you open your mouth and sound all American. These are the experiences, the spiritual journey. And we just feel like if we can provide this, we give one away a year. Although we're a little behind, we're going to be giving one away at the end of this year again. But we just want people to really show during their application process how much lives in them. And she's so electric, exciting. It was a slam dunk. She was also from the Bamileke tribe of Cameroon. Now, one of the funny things that this was pre-pandemic, remember, so we actually had in-person events. So we did an event at the Museum of Fine Arts here in Boston, October 25th, and I had her culture reveal. So there will be a culture reveal. So we're gonna do the test of the winner today, and then after the test, the person will now we'll get the results. They will know the results, and then we'll have another event where we'll be able to. Hopefully, maybe we can do it in person. Let's see how it goes since we're out of the pandemic and stuff. We haven't done an in-person cultural reveal in a while. So, but yeah, this is some pictures from that day. And, one of the great things was that Justina and Michelle and so you're looking at three Bamileke ladies right here. They were all Bamileke women, and actually five because Michelle has a set of twins. They're way more grown than this. I think they're in college right now. So, but this was them, and they, because it's a matriclan test they took. The matriclan test allows you to learn where your mother comes from, your mother's mother, and your mother's mother, and your mother's mother. So it takes your mother's mother's lineage all the way back to Africa. So yeah, you're looking at five Bamileke ladies right here. This is us at that event that I was telling you about that we met randomly with Michelle Marteno, the culture guide. And we were raising money to send people to Africa, but then the pandemic kind of happened, and then one thing led to another. And we never really got back to that, but we want to get back to there. So we need your support. We need to build our team. So look out for that. Wait, hold on. Yeah, August 10, 2019. Imagine that. Little did we know what was going to happen. So we got the next winner, Shireen Russell, who is actually of Jamaican descent. And she was from the Tikar Hausa Fulani tribe of Cameroon and Bubi of Equatorial Guinea. So she had a little bit more complex mix, but nonetheless, she was here in Boston. She got that. Shireen is a good friend, so it was nice to know that that she was able to discover her roots. And although she's always been hanging around Nigerians anyway, so she already knew what was up. We also had a culture reveal there. Like I said, November 20th, 2019. So you can actually see like we're just about to approach the whole pandemic. Little did we know. We were all smiling, didn't know what was about to hit us. But yeah, we were at the Museum of Fine Arts again, same crew. Justina, now Michelle is there, and Fabienne, who is also one of the leading partners in the group, to get us started. Right. Then, during the pandemic, I met a lovely lady who's actually a full Nigerian. She's actually working the scenes behind. I'm not gonna just expose her why she's not on here, but she has been our host and co-host and now a board member of the African American Culture Initiative. Without her, we would not be here. She has been a unwavering support. She operates the African American TV youth program that we have here. So we actually we have about 7 youth that are being paid through the city of Boston, and they operate their podcast. So check out the Chop It Up Pod on Instagram. That's our youth program, and Inkiru has been training them and getting everybody ready. So let me just show a little video of my dear sister Inkiru.
To make a few remarks as to why the work
one and share your screen, Inkiru.
At the African American Culture Initiative and the African American Academy.
Yeah, let's do that since we're having technical difficulties. So could you have the slide? Could you share your slide and let's switch it out?
Is important to me. So as a first generation.
Okay, let's Inkiru, are you there?
Yes, let me find the video. Nigerian American.
No, what I'm saying is that you should play
I grew up with a very.
You should just share the slideshow that I gave you and play the thing from there, because all the timestamps need to be yeah, having technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. You can never predict what the internet wants to do, but this is actually all right. So let's get it. Let's have you load up your shared screen. And then we'll turn mine off for now. So while she's doing that, should I introduce okay, you got it going already? Okay, so let's see if you can play the video.
They were deprived of, that they were robbed from, and that they're taking action to claim it back. That's a very important thing for someone to be able to take back, what's theirs and what was. You're going to share with us tonight. So before I formally introduce you, I just wanted to, make a few remarks as to, why the work at the African American Culture Initiative and the African American Academy is important to me. So as a first generation Nigerian American, I grew up with a very strong understanding of who I was as a person, growing up in an African home, but living in the United States. So which definitely came with this many challenges as it relates to figuring out what your cultural identity is. Children in general, obviously, they go through different stages where they're wondering, like, who am I? But when you add like this cultural piece, your home culture and then your school culture and your friends culture, like there's a lot of things that kind of, shapes who you are and helps define who you are. And actually, I talk about that a lot on my podcast, Conversations from the Diaspora. I always talk about my dad, he was a Pan-Africanist, and he was very intentional about teaching myself and my siblings about the history of the African American specifically, and then the African diaspora as a whole. Again, which is why I'm passionate about hearing these stories of triumph, and it makes me hopeful for the future that so many African Americans are interested in taking this step to learn about their cultural heritages, that they were deprived of, that they were robbed from. And that they're taking action to claim it back. That's a very important thing for someone to be able to take back, what's theirs and what was stolen from them, and then doing the necessary work to educate themselves and get connected, in a way that makes sense for you at, whatever point in life that.
Yeah, so that is our my dear sister Inkiru, and she's really been, like I said, instrumental in taking on the mantle, organizing behind the scenes, and you can see she's all dolled up there, so she looks really good there. And she's a wonderful podcaster. I've learned so much about giving these kind of presentations online from her. So it's important that we incorporated her into our story. She was like, "What? Yeah, you're part of the story." So we're really thankful for you. So the next winner, our third winner. So basically, we've gone through Michelle, Shireen, and our third winner was Jessica Pomer. And this is just a little insight. She tested positive for the Tikar people of Cameroon. And so let's play that video real shortly of her culture reveal. Are you waiting? Are you going to make, oh, am I playing it? Well, remember, I'm having internet issues, so you should be playing all the videos. It's just one after the other. Thank you.
This is your official,
Yeah, I'm having technical difficulties, so you've got to play it from yours.
Your official certificate, so you know.
Yeah, like I said, you can give it back to me. You have to do it all on yours. So we have to do all the it's still playing on my side. Inkiru, can you play the next slide, please, from yours?
Just making this up, but yes, you are from the Tikar people who are living currently in Cameroon. So
yeah, like straight up Tikar. That's cool.
Just straight up.
That's so cool.
Congratulations.
Cameroon. Wow. The smiling Tikar. I want to know what that is meant to me.
Then
right. So that's just a clip of when she found out that she was from the Tikar people of Cameroon. You know, and I think, you know, we're gonna have we have a few guests on here, so we want to get through the of the history, and then we'll all share questions on, you know, and learn more about this, and then we'll go to our winner. Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm not the only one on here. There we go. Oh, Michelle, hey. Hey, okay, so let's go to the next winner. So the next winner after that was Stacy Haynes. Soon we're gonna have like a whole hour of history of former winners, so we're very excited about that. And Stacy, she tested positive for the Mende people of Sierra Leone. Let's play that video. Nope, you gotta go back and press
listening to you tonight just reaffirms how many gaps in my family history there are, and over the years I've tried to get answers, and they have been very conflicting, I guess is the best way to describe it. This is something that I've been wanting to do because it's more than just about me. It's about my daughters now and their legacy, and wanting them to know who they are and where they come from, and giving them that sense of belonging and pride. And as they are embarking on, you know, teenage years and moving into young adulthood, it's very crucial for them to have that firm foundation. Our faith is very important to us, and knowing where we come from is a part of that. So thank you so much.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful message. She's also here in Boston. And like I said, we're growing our little family, you know, and I'm very proud, and I see a lot of members here. So hey, like I said, electric.
Am I not muted? I'm so sorry. Gio, I see you. You're right. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
All right. No, it's all good. It's all good. We welcome you. I told everybody when I introduced you that you were electric when I met you, and you're proving me right. So, all right. So then the next winner is our current, like, last winner, and we're trying to catch up because we had a little bit of a break. Is Melanie Best, who is actually on scene right now. So let's watch the video. She tested positive for the Tikar people of Cameroon. A lot of Cameroon in the house. I don't know. I mean, it seemed as if, you know, to announce that you tested positive for the Tikar people living in Cameroon.
Yeah! Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. How do you say it again? The Tikara people.
Yeah, the tikar. There is
Oh.
actually, so we had a little bit of like, we put a little bit of something together. There's some
Mm-hmm.
artwork, and you can see some people there. And I thank Inkaru for putting these slides together. Some like traditional chief headdress, and this is like the location. One of the things about is that my people from the Calabar tribe, ethnic tribe in Nigeria, live on the border. So you have to understand that these borders are European induced. So we
Mm-hmm.
couldn't. So really, we're tribal. We're kind of we're kind of brothers and sisters in that.
Cool.
There is a little. I know we have pressed for time, so I'm not. Maybe we'll just send this to you. But we did have. Right. We are pressed for time, but yeah, and I was actually going to mention that. Yeah, that my family is actually, like I said, these borders are fake. They're not real. These are just what people told our ancestors that you're Nigerian, you're Cameroonian, they're not real. So the tribal borders are what really matter. And my tribe, the ethnic tribe of Calabar, Nigeria, they're actually closer with artifacts to the Cameroonian side. So in Nigeria, we're more of the minority, while we would have probably been more of the majority in if we were with our group. So the next slide is, so we got to that stage. So right now, before we move forward, hey, don't click it. It's very important. The next slide reveals our winner. But before we go there, let us, and first of all, I want to introduce our former winners. So we'll have the very first Lives in Me winner, Michelle. Welcome, girl. How you doing?
My bad. I did not know I was not muted, but I saw my homie in the red, and we got the red on, so we in tune. Peace, everyone. Hey, Belle. Hey, Babe. Babe's on here.
Well, yeah. So, and then next, I'll introduce the last Lives in Me 5. Melanie, best
Number
introduce
5.
yourself. Say hi to everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm the only one outside of Boston, but I'm happy to be here, and I'm so excited for the winners this year. It's a great journey to be on. Welcome to the club.
Right. And then now I'm going to ask. Okay, we'll do ladies first. Miss Giovanni. She is our. So now these are the contestants. So we have two final contestants, right? And so not everybody's gonna win today. We understand, but let's just get our introduction. So welcome, Giovanni.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. I see Michelle cheering in the background. Little known fact, that's how we grown up and got to know each other as cheerleaders in high school. So
So y'all both okay.
So this is naturally our banter.
No, Marlon didn't know that we knew each other.
I talked to her earlier. I found out a few minutes ago that that you get not up to an hour. It's not up to an hour ago. Yes. No, that's awesome. So welcome, Giovanni. And then last but not least, Mr. Wynn.
Hey, good evening, everyone.
Nice, Mr. Wynn. So yeah, so our right now, so like I think before we get a little bit talking about actually showing what's happening, like who won, and just to be very clear, it was just based on the kind of input you put into the, because the idea, like I said, is to say who wins and who lives in you. So we want to see how the passion that somebody has, because when you win this, like there's been, to be honest, not to knock on anybody, because I love everybody equally. But there's nobody more electric than the first winner. and she literally recruited like 2 winners. Like this would be almost like 2 winners, but 3 winners. She embodies like literally that energy, her karma. I call her like a spiritual guide. Like I really recognize her spirit in the African context as like a channel of energy, like of our collective energy. She helps us, she leads us spiritually, and she has been doing that for the program. God sent her to this program, and we thank and give him the praise for that. This is a cultural space, so we give grace and glory to who needs to be. That's part of who we are. And she has been doing that. So always thank you. So yes, it's no, this is not a surprise that she's bringing this kind of energy to here. So anyway, so guys, especially, okay, so let's start off with our guests. Melanie and Stephanie, Melanie and Michelle, you guys are not guests anymore. You're family. So our guests that are here, that we want. So why did you apply for the for the Lives in Me challenge?
Yeah. All I remember learning in school was the slave trade, the cotton gin, and the peanut man. It was foolish. What happened before that? And I know my dad's side from New Orleans. I know my mom. I was born in Portsmouth, Virginia. So that was as far as I knew. But I am so grateful because my great grandma and my grandmother they would take us to Baptist church and the African church. And my grandma had an altar before I knew that's what it was, where she had like the Buddha, the peacock feather, the like cinnamon broom, like all the goods and people's pictures that passed. So when I met you, Marlon, it was like the surge. It was like the uphill of my spiritual journey. Beautiful, because that was always in the back of my mind. But it was like, I didn't want to do the 23andMe because I am a conspiracy theorist believer and I didn't want to give up the blood. My older sister did. And so when you told me about African ancestry and that, I did my own research because I'm that person to go and research things.
No, that's right. That's what you're supposed to do. Right.
I just thought it was a great opportunity to know more about where my bloodline come from, because as a person of color who has always felt confused why I've been discriminated against and not being able to fight back on like a historical level of like, I know where I come from. So now knowing Cameroon, Bamaleke tribe, Egypt, Queens, Pharaoh, period. When I go into these spaces, I no longer have to feel like my life is standing. I have to conform into these white spaces that kept our history from us. So I'm so grateful that you fell into my life for this opportunity, because then I get to pass that on to my twins. Their dad's from Jamaica, his dad was from Jamaica. So like, we're from the South. So now it's like, now we know where that bloodline stems from. We can know who we are and why I love to dance and so colorful and create and just, love humans. So that's all me, and hopefully one day, I get to go on down the road to Africa and set up the land, live my life. That's it. Like Melanie did. Melanie went and lived it for a decade and was like, it's nothing like what we're taught over here. It's crazy. So
right.
Yeah.
Oh well, you know me, and like I said, I'm just glad that we're growing out the team, because in the end of the day, I think with the more legwork we have, the more capacity we have, people who are working with us, the more money can. Because I think we should be able to get, if we put our minds to it, we can get funding to go down and like as a team and really go and experience it and come back with pictures and videos and fun. I definitely want to go to Ghana. I think that's where a good place to start. African Americans are really accepted there. They have a right to abode there, which means that you can go there and apply for permanent residency as an African American. So that's where we, like I said, I think that can be relocation services. Hey, you can go get, you can always buy that, that guest house, it'll be way cheaper, at your vacation home, and all that kind of stuff. And they, so I hope that we can definitely get there. So, okay. So next, let's go to Giovanni. Giovanni, why did you sign up for the Lives in Me program?
I think like many of us, we're just really trying to, bridge those gaps, right? And find, all the intricacies that make us who we are. I know a lot, some of us follow zodiac. Oh, I'm a Gemini, I'm a this, and this is what makes me, this is why, what makes us tick. But I think it also is boiled down to what runs through our veins, right? What blood, like what warrior spirit we have, what king and queen spirit do we have? So I naturally have always wanted to do genealogical research, and it's been a thing that's always kind of been a hobby of mine, and things that I've done in the past. I remember, and I think I said this in my application process, that one of the coolest jobs that I ever had in like my early adulthood was I worked at like the vital statistics, and I was just in this room with all of the records of like birth, deaths, marriages. And so I was able to, like, on my breaks, just like feverishly research while I was there, just to have access to that. But of course, everything runs into a limit. So you can only research as far as you have Massachusetts ties. And then once you get outside of Massachusetts, then you have to go to the other places. And, and I did my best. I'm, born and raised here in Boston, Massachusetts. I went to college in Alabama. I went to Alabama State University. It's a historically Black college. And my mother's family, as far as I know, has always had roots in Alabama. And so I tried to do some research when I was down there, in between being a busy college student. So it's just naturally been in me to want to research and know more and connect more with all aspects of who I am. So, and knowing, and knowing Michelle, and I know her journey with your program was such an amazing experience for her. And I too am not giving my DNA away to 23andMe and none of those other ones. Like, I would much rather it go to someone that can actually connect me to me. Right. I mean, I just love that was an option. And it was something that was solely for us, because we just don't have the connection to our history like everyone else does. We are a stolen people. We are brought to a foreign land. We had to assimilate. We had to adjust. And so we are missing a lot of what really makes us who we are. And, we have generations of people who are just searching for who they are, myself included.
Awesome. I love that part. Connect me to me. That was powerful words right there. Quotation. You put it down. One thing that I do want to point out at this point is that, one thing, even though, because, America, one of the things that we don't realize is how much our culture has been kind of like, as African Americans, has been kind of like we don't really appreciate what it has done to us, because we don't know the difference between, what has happened and what was how we're supposed to be. How we know how we were supposed to be if we was changed from how we were supposed to be.
Exactly.
Right? Is that kind of, it's kind of, this circle of reasoning that we get stuck in. But I do want to point out that one of the major things that we need to focus on is the direct enemy of slavery is community. Right? This community working as a group together. That is the number one thing that I would point out to say that is missing. It's not as much as individual as how do we work together as a group? What traditions do we have? What products and services do we provide culturally that we provide and bring in money? How do we teach this, these communal things to our next generation? These are the key things, because remember, if we're working together, bringing in money and whatnot based on our culture, We did it in the 50s and 60s. I mean, up to the 60s with jazz music, and that, and that's our primary. The ability to play instruments. Let me just say that is our primary cultural artifact, and as African Americans, and we created districts like the Chitlin Circuit all across the United States of America. Boston's area was in Roxbury, South End, right? Wally's Jazz Cafe is the last.
Yep.
Yeah, Wally's is the last one. So that is our heritage. So when we think of what we need to do to bring people together, we need to look at our culture and think of things like that. Because I would say we need to make sure our kids have an instrument in their hands, because that's their heritage. So those are some of the communal things that we got to look at. All right. So now I'll go to okay. Let's go to Mr. Nguyen. Why did you reach out and apply for the Lives With Me challenge?
So first of all, wanted to say thank God, Jehovah, for having his blessings on my life and having me to even be in this conversation with you, ladies and gentlemen, this evening. So I'm thankful for that. I'm originally from Barbados in the West Indies. Lived here in Boston most of my adult life, raised 2 children here. They're now young adults. I'd love to have some answers for them, some directions to lead them on their lineage and where they come from, their ancestors, and so on and so forth. That's the primary reason that I wanted to get involved with this. I don't have the fire and the spark that these young ladies that was on earlier have. So my vote's definitely for Jo, if that means anything. I think she deserves to go, further with this than I could this time around. But yeah, given the opportunity sometime in the future, I'd love to have someone grant me that, those answers to where I'm from and, and things like that. So that's it, short and sweet.
You know what, sir? What you have is a big heart, and I can see why my sister Smalley has been with you, and her life has changed since she met you and the program and everything. So I want to thank you for taking good care of her. In Nigeria, one of the main cultural ways we understand who is a man is we look at the happiness of his wife. She is the parameter by which we would judge your manhood. You could literally be walking around here, bro, with tatters, looking like broke out all outdoors with nothing, no shoes on your feet. But if your wife is happy and looking the way she's looking, everybody's gonna hold you high as a man. And I'm not, like the kids say, no cap. I know Inky was in the background talking about my dad jokes, but yeah. That's the way it goes down. So I appreciate you. But you know what I think? I think that to be honest, the gap between Melanie and the prior winner, which was Stacy, was actually super wide. So we're actually trying to make up ground here. So maybe what we should be thinking about is how we look to see how we can, because I think that big heart, what lives in you comes out in different ways, and I don't think it's fair for us to define who I know what we're looking for, and I think primarily is because we got like $5 and we put that whole $5 together to put this program. So we want to know that person is going to be sparkling out there and like bring in more people, and I think that may have been what it has been before. Also, we've never done a Patriclan test. We've all done Matriclan tests. So even if you did it, no, I think you can do it. I think, yeah, because everybody has their mother's gene. It's the other way around, right? Yeah, everybody has a mother. So you'll be fine. But we haven't done a Patriclan test, so maybe we should look into that. But I think that we're all winners here today. I just feel like that's what I want to say. But we'll work that out, because we're not going to. You touched me there, right? And I think I'm growing here on screen, y'all. So,
Marlon, I can see the growth. I see the growth.
Amen. I'm growing here on screen because I felt something different, because I had this impression on what I've been telling myself for 5 good 6, 7 years or whatever about how the program's supposed to be. But you're right. Not everybody is going to be sparkly because ain't nobody can be sparkly like some of these ladies. We just can't do it. So no, amen to that. And then we started out with God, and if God lives in you, then you don't really need much else. So I appreciate you. All right, so we'll work that out, but let's go on. Let me not take up all the time. I'm in here in my because I'm used to be educating. So when I get a a message, that cuts, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not used to it. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you for helping me grow, brother. And so now, Melanie, Melanie hasn't said, Melanie, why did you, I know you're recent, so maybe your question should be a little bit different. Maybe you should tell us, since you just got your information, you found out where you're from, let's share for everybody kind of like what they have to look forward to,
I mean,
Right.
I think a lot of what's been said already is how knowing this particular part of your familial history, it just kind of adds a piece to the puzzle. Again, for many generations, we've had to kind of patchwork it. Maybe somebody would tell us a story. Maybe somebody would give us a date with the detail. Maybe we found an obituary and it gave us another clue. And so to be able to actually see what has made us, like one of the things that and I may have shared this before, that blew my mind is I was talking to a closer person in South Africa, and he just reminded me, like, I was like, I don't know why we always late, and again, the concept of time is a very Western concept, where and we're working on the linear, but in terms of if you're thinking about a circle of life and you're with people, like we're together, we're communing together, we're enjoying, and yes, I see the time, but we're enjoying one another. And so time is irrelevant because we're with the people. And that has freed me. Like sometimes when I run a little late, I was enjoying the people I was with. And so you're gonna have to excuse me because I don't want to be bound by that, because it's something that is in me for generations that made it across the waters, so that I can celebrate the joy of living, the joy of life. Because a lot of times we're too busy moving and we don't get a chance to enjoy the people we're
Yes.
with. I'm happy. I'm excited for you guys, and that's what's been so great for me, is to see even my connection with the Takir people of Cameroon, because they were nomadic. They probably even went through some of the places that I've been to. I lived in South Africa for 12 years. I've traveled to Ghana and Nigeria for shorter trips. My husband and I do missions work, and so it's just beautiful to see that I've been to places where my people have been. And though they resided before we got on the boats, on the West Coast, yeah, but they were all around. They were free, and so it does bring about more freedom, because you know who you are and you know where you come from. More to celebrate. So congratulations to both of you, whatever the journey may unfold for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
And one of the reasons, so like we did it, she's the only one, like I said, from Houston, that because the program has really been primarily for Bostonians, but I think, like I said, everything it has a reason, and her mission work and everything like that. We've been talking about it, and I think one of the aspects of Lives in Me is that, especially for those of us in Boston, that how do we connect to our Southern roots? Like, you don't have to go all the way back. Like, there's a little step right between here and the whole Africa. Right,
Mhm.
that like, so I I have a program. I've been thinking about it for many years, called Southern Hospitality, and and connecting the North, because so like when I do my redlining study, I realized that because the African Americans in the North were so like because you're coming to a new area. This is like in a little area. When they were removed, they were removed.
Yeah.
Like there's no African American place in Boston, like a hub where you can go and get African American, not Jamaican, not Haitian, not Nigerian, African American, jazz, soul food, there's basically nothing. Like, and except for Wally's. Like I said, Wally's is literally the last one. Darrow's to an extent, because it used to be called Bob the Chefs, and
Yep.
Slade's, but Slade's is corporately owned now, so it's not exactly the same. But the people that own it are still they used to own it or whatever. They're still intricately involved, but the real one, the one I feel is the main one, is Wally's, and that whole community was wiped out. So how do we connect like there's a lot that goes, and I think there will be a little bigger connection, because like you can see things like the black eyed pea fritter in the South is the same as akara in Nigeria. Yeah, so it's like you can see more
those thin
African-
lines, those thin
Right.
lines of connection.
Right, exactly. So that you can definitely see more connections. But if you're further removed from even the South, then it's like even more like you're talking about mystic stuff, right? You know, a lot of my students that you know, they go to MECO programs, or you know, they school outside their communities or whatnot, they get bussed out or whatever. They are longing for the HBCU experience. They're longing for a connection to their culture, and not African culture, just African American culture. Like just so I think that is something that like I said, this program is starting. We're just getting a lot of people, you know, involved now, and I think we have enough critical mass to get moving. So anyway, we look forward to working together. All right. So now, without further ado, what time? Yeah, we're about to close out. So let us get to the moment of truth. So anyway, we already said that they're going to be both winners. We're just going to try to catch up because, like I said, if you notice, it says DNA test winner 2023, and that's because we had a big gap. And now, so we really do need 2 winners this year. So maybe we don't need to look no further, and I don't think we do. So I appreciate y'all, but we want to give you the same specialness, you know, both whoever. But yes, you're right, and I think so without further ado, the Lives in Me Challenge DNA test giveaway winner of 2023, the 6th annual Lives in Me winner is congratulations, first of all.
Oh my gosh!
But let me tell you, that picture with the rays of sunshine out the head, I was like, this lives. This is like,
thank you. Oh, this is so
congratulations,
amazing.
Giovanni Yolanda Fox. You are the 6th annual Lives in Me Challenge winner. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, so cool. Oh, I'm honored.
I cannot believe this. First of all, you know, like I saw her pop in the background, and I was like, did Gio win? Because you know, we kind of Mel and you know, we're in, and Marlon gave us like a little hint, but we wasn't sure. So when I saw, I'm like running around the house like, girls, I think this bitch win. Sorry, oh my god, did this girl win? And she didn't hit me up and didn't tell me, and then I was like, but Winston's on. I was like, wait, what's happening? Like, are we getting the guy? But so I'm so emotional because I love you both, and this is so huge, and the fact that y'all both have like Bayesian backgrounds, I was like, oh snap, this is gonna be dope for both of you to learn about what happens best. But just congrats, Gio. I'm so happy, and congrats, Winston, because I think Marlon just said it. You're next, bro.
He's the 7th.
Yeah,
He's the 7th.
Patrick Clan
He's the
test
7th.
going
Lucky
now.
number 7.
Yay.
Just, I want to give him his flowers properly because I've grown since the beginning of this program. So I need to do it, and then we need to like do a proper culture reveal and everything. But we never had a man. Like this is the first male, so I think that's also very powerful. So yes, sir. You know, we'll keep it strong. So I appreciate y'all. So I'm just like, every time I do this, because like I said, this literally represents the love that my father and my mother had, like from 1970 something when they first met. This is what this program is, because I've always struggled. When I'm in Nigeria, I'm an African. No, sorry. When I'm in Nigeria, I'm an African American. When I'm in America, I'm an African. And that dynamic has ruled my life. And, you know, when I came here and I started my organization, it was based on that and the love of my mom and my dad. And to see that is like growing, and now we are like 7 people deep.
Thank you, Marlon, for those.
speechless.
No, it's we have to thank Mr. and Mr. Solomon. Well, the
Yeah,
who
our
who are still married.
Amen.
Right.
Oh, blessings.
Right,
Whoa.
they're still married. Live in Texas. So congratulations. So what I mean, so now that you got that, so now that you know, how do you feel? Let's get your take. We're not gonna go without hearing so how do you feel like, we're gonna get you your flowers properly, but yes, how do you
I'm
feel?
thankful, man. I'm overwhelmed. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I didn't see that coming, so thank you.
God works in mysterious ways, and like I said, I like to always use this opportunity to get spiritual because, God is such a central part of African life. It is what rules us. It is our spirituality. We don't put nothing above him. And to do a program and be trying to be, living in the trappings of our environment where we have to be sensitive to people who may not want to and all that other stuff, right? We don't do that here. This is our space. It is for us. It's to find out who lives in me, and God lives in me. And and everybody here has a spiritual connection. I think, aren't you a pastor, Melanie? Aren't you like a preacher wife or something? Don't you have to be
I don't like to use that title, but something like that. But you're
something
right.
like
Yeah.
that? I know. You
Something
just
like
gotta be
that.
humble,
Yeah,
right?
it's okay. Yeah, just shine
I'm
them.
gonna ask you to reveal your hat collection, because that's how we'll know if you got them southern hats.
Well, I have to confess, I don't have one, but I have inherited one from my grandma. So I
Okay.
may have to don a
I
hat.
know that, and I know that hat is fire too. If you got it from your grandma,
Right.
I know.
Oh gosh, yeah, and she had a collection.
But so what's the story behind that particular hat? Because for you to get one hat out of all the collection.
Well, so I mean, just quickly, my grandmother passed away in December, and I was talking with my mom and saying, could we do something to honor her for her funeral, her homegoing? And my mom's like, we should just wear hats. And I was like, okay. And I thought maybe she had a few of them and we'd be fighting them. She had enough for all of us to take at least 5 or 6 home.
Wow.
If you get a hat for Easter, for Christmas, for your birthday, and whatever else there may be, church anniversary, you're going to have 4 hats a year. So we got a lot of hats. So I'm going to be church lady in just a minute.
No. But that is exactly the traditions. Like, are we looking at that as a tradition of African American culture? It is. But do we
I would definitely say so.
Right. So what are we doing to transfer that to the next generation? Because that's the next step. It was like, like I said, this program is started based on what I learned in Africa, learning as an African American living in Africa, and how do I transfer that structure here to our context. So it is about us now letting know. So what does 2024 hats look like? But then again, you got to be going to church. So therefore, the church is also part of the whole. You see how it just all builds upon each other.
All connected.
Yeah. So if we're not passing it down to our kids, just like how the Nigerians pass down the jollof rice, and the Chinese people pass on the chicken fried rice, you go and get the cannolis in the north end. This is their tradition. This is who they are, and they make sure the next generation practices it, and it's still cool. Yes, you're doing it in 2024 version, but you're still doing it.
It's still, there. That foundation is still there.
So
it's still there. Yeah,
right.
That's for sure.
So anyway, I know the time has passed. Yes, it's 8:01. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and just a little final word from everyone, and then we'll sign off. No, I'm not gonna let y'all. Bree watching from Mattapan. What's up, Bree? We see you. Okay, so please, just a little bit of like just a final word. Just say bye to everybody, and then we'll close up one by one. Anybody?
I'll go. I'll ecstatic, really ecstatic.
Right. We'll get in touch with you soon, because I got your test literally right here in my hand.
Okay.
So we'll get in touch with you, and then we'll maybe, since we have kind of like a little family win, Winston, Smalley, and me, and we'll see who else want to come from Boston. We'll meet, and we can give you, the thing. Just hang out, whatever. It doesn't have to be nothing big. But we do want to do a culture reveal.
Okay.
We about that.
I'm down.
And we'll
Sign
let
me up.
Smalley plan it because she's gonna be good at that kind of stuff. and yeah, something nice, right? All right. So, okay, who's next? Anybody next want to say a little adios to the people?
Well, I just want to say y'all enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. Yeah, you're about to unlock a new part of yourself, and it's a treasure. It's beautiful. Michelle said it's something that you can share with your kids, that you can pass on. Another reason for them to be proud. Like, I appreciate so much what you're doing up there in Boston in terms of this discovery. You're not just learning this information for yourself, but you're making sure that we all know, so we can stand tall. I mean, I know we've been standing tall anyway, but we can stand
Right.
even taller because we realize who we come from, who we are, whose we are. And that just propels us to our future and to more of what we have in store. I mean, there's so much to come. And so the more we know, the more that we'll be able to do to not only help our own families, but to help our community thrive. So all the best, peeps, and I look forward to seeing the reveal. I don't know if one of these days I'm planning to be there in person in Boston, but until then, I'll have to enjoy you guys virtually. So, but congratulations again.
All right, excellent. All right.
Thank you.
So, Madame, Mr. and Mrs.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just say thank you so much for sharing your wealth. This is actually wealth building and its finest. So thank you for showing up and sharing this wealth of knowledge and this test that I'm about to embark on. It's very encouraging. So thank you for all these things, man. It's great knowing you, and let's continue this.
Amen. Thank you. We thank God. And last but not least, the first who lives in me winner.
I'm manifesting. We about to get Ayanna Presley to reveal Gio and Wilson their DNA results. So let's put that in the air, and Marlon, let's work on getting her to come and present it. I mean, respect to Michelle Wu and stuff, W's up, but let's get AP involved in this.
Okay, no problem. We'll put the wheels in motion, and we'll see what we can what we can turn up. I have to make some calls, y'all.
I know her aide, Sophia. I just met her aide, Sophia. So I'm gonna be like, Sophia, put in a good word.
Right.
Use the connections.
No problem. So y'all, we want to thank all our audience and our viewers. Stay tuned. This is a journey. Remember, practice your culture. Who lives in you? This is more than just us coming together. This is a movement, and we want to develop. This program is to help develop African American culture, to fill out those things that we've lost during the passage, the Jim Crow, the slavery, the redlining, all that, because we don't know what we lost. So we have to compare it to what was, but it doesn't mean we're changing Africans. What we're doing is just practicing the structure in our context. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole goal. So thank you. I'm not going to be able to sleep for a while tonight because I always get all amped up. But thank you for your participation. Thank you for your support. And let's do this. More and more blessings. All right.